Here we are for round 2. We are on the play with a rather slow hand, but it looks powerful enough to keep, I feel like. We do have quite a bit of 2 and 3 drops which we might draw, and that would make this hand really good. Don't think I mulligan this. Once again, you could, but I don't really know what to look for when mulliganing these kind of hands. Let's see if we can draw something to cast early on. But otherwise, a curve of Towering Indrik, Golgari Longlegs, Justicia should also be fine. And there's the Centaur Healer. Now we only need to land in the next 2 draw steps. We'll be more than fine. With Towering Indrik, it feels like I have to decline the trade on the Chainwalker and try to dominate the 3-2 with my 2-4. So I'm going to use the life I gained immediately. And I'm actually going to raise somewhat aggressively. I hope that he can't attack when I have the Indrik in play, and if this turn doesn't go too badly, I should be doing very fine with the cards I have here. Looks like he has a combat trick, but I have to let him cast it. And he just threw away the Chainwalker for 3 damage. That doesn't seem right. I can use my Eyes in Disguise to block Daggerdrum Imp, and I still have Towering Indrik to hold off the Reveler, which is better than hitting for 3, I feel like, especially because he threw away a card just to deal damage here. He can't really attack, yeah. I mean, Towering Indrik holds off these creatures very effectively. Brush Strider is an option. Justicia just hits him so hard though. I attack for 7 and then for 9, and he only has the Imp to block. Yeah, that has to be better. It's possible that he has Tenement Crasher, but he can't even cast it without risking to die. Stabwood isn't a big deal. Not drawing a land there is unfortunate, but let's see what he has. I'm just going to drop another creature. I don't see a reason not to. He could have Mizzium Mortas, which would be bad, but then if I draw a land, I have Golgari Longlegs. And that's game. So playing against the Rakdos with Green Splash that likes to attack with Gorhouse Chainwalker, which was nice for us. So let's see. Swift Justice should be good. Security Blockade is kind of good as well, even though it's kind of slow. I think it's much better than the expensive cards we have here. So let's see. Maybe one less Savage Surge because Swift Justice is easier to cast. Well, Beastmaster isn't all that great against Rakdos. It's still great with the cards we have, but I think we can actually take that out and play another Towering Indrik. A 2-4 is great against Rakdos, and that makes sure that we have enough stuff to do, and still a Chorus of Might to just gain value in combat, although I kind of like the Savage Surge even better. This gives me a nicer curve and way to interact early and maybe have some backup for my Swift Justices or so. Yeah, I don't know what's in his deck, but if it's only aggressive cards, then this should be the perfect counter deck. Our opponent chooses to play first naturally, and we are keeping another Centaur healer hand. We can arrest if he tries to pump up one of his creatures, and we can Swift Justice the healer, hopefully without him interfering too much. Guildmage could be somewhat of a problem, so we might actually want to arrest that, especially because if we arrest another creature, he's going to get some Suprolings from it, and we don't really want that to happen. I think we can safely drop Centaur Healer first, though. It's not like the Guildmage is a big danger right now. Whoa. That's a pretty good card. Now, what we could do here is to just arrest the Guildmage and then try to get him with Swift Justice, and I think that's better than attacking with the healer into the menace, because that's just going to tell him that we have a combo trick, and then he isn't going to offer the trade, of course. Well, or at least he shouldn't. Now, if he has an unleashed creature, he's probably going to play that before combat. That is going to tell us that our Swift Justice is safe. If not, that's also fine. He has a Deathrite Shaman. That's not too threatening right now. And he just doesn't attack. So if he had an Annihilating Fire at that spot, I'm pretty sure that he would have attacked. Which means that we could Knightly Valor a Centaur Healer. However, we can't protect it from a double block by both of these. So I'm going to wait one more turn before I try anything like that. And then we kind of have to hope that he doesn't have a way to scavenge. He could have Explosive Impact now that he has 6 mana up. So might have been a mistake once again, but it looks like we got there so far. Also not really sure what he's holding there. Could be all kinds of cards. There isn't that many removal spells that he could have but couldn't cast at this spot. I can think of Ultimate Prize, but not much else. It's also possible that he just untaps and plays a removal spell. That's fine. That's also fine. Yeah, some interesting stuff happening, but our healer is alive. That was the most important part. So if he doesn't have Assassin Strike or something similar, we should be fine. Whoa. Whenever a creature you control deals common damage to a player, put that many +1/+1 counters on it. Necropolis Regent. Okay. And it's actually doubled the amount of counters. Yeah, that's nice. So now we basically need to draw something as soon as possible. Otherwise we are going to be dead to the Regent. I'm going to populate a bird to have one more turn of blocking the Regent, which could prove very important. The Centaur can't attack unless I draw a better pump spell anyway. Now the healer could attack, but Sewer Shambler is kind of a beating. Almost makes me want to just attack with everything to at least make sure that it deals some damage. And then hold back the bird to block the Regent. Yeah, I kind of like that. That way, if he blocks the Centaur with Menace, I get to Swift Justice. And not have to worry about double the tokens anymore. Which is something. Also, I deal quite a bit of damage this turn. 2 to him and gain some life, killed some creatures. However, he does have that Deathrite Shaman, so not out of it yet. This is where Giant Growth would be so much better than anything I have. He passed the turn without scavenging anything. That's very interesting. And we don't have anything really. Now, I could just attack with everything, and if he attacks with the Regent again, then I just take some damage. I think that's better than jump blocking next turn. I can take some damage from the Regent on 21, even if it grows immensely. There's quite a few cards that are still very good here. But things aren't looking too bad. So let's see if this is enough to beat Necropolis Regent. Somehow. And Bybot 2020 just conceded after drawing his card. So our Selesnya army got there despite his best efforts with a couple of rares and a mythic. See you in the finals.